How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the San Jose Sharks franchise mode, episode number 25, the quarter century mark, headed into the second half of year number 7, the 2028-29 regular season. In the last one, we left off with a record of 25, 14, and 2, and that's only because of a huge surge in the second quarter of that first half of the season. We went 14 2-1 in our last 17 games, and that now gives us a record of 25, 14, and 2, which puts us second in the NHL as we're going for a third consecutive President's Trophy. We sit atop the Pacific Division as well. We're scoring a lot. We are getting scored on less than we were previously. The gap between goals for and goals against is continuing to grow. Our special teams have been great. Best power play, top 10 penalty kill. Everything's been going well in the last 17 games or so, where we're 14, 2-1. Personnel-wise, we have 4 players that are point per game plus right now, being led by LUCIUS, who's on pace for a 108-point season. The rest of the team doing very well. Samu Ranta, 26 points in his rookie season, on pace to get over 50. Larry Tongue, another guy who in that second quarter of the first half has been incredible. On the fourth line, 2 goals in 18 games. In the last 23 games, he has 12 goals and 7 assists for 19 points in 23 games. That's ever since we boosted him up to play on the third line, mostly in part to Connor Bedard's injury that has kept him sidelined for the last little bit, but he should be back for next game now that he's played 33 out of 41 games this year, and he has 41 points. Looking poised for another fantastic season. He has back-to-back 100-plus point seasons in his pocket. Let's see if he can make it a third consecutive, as he went 100 and 105 in the last couple seasons respectively. Between the pipes, just to highlight that as well, we've been rolling with 3 goaltenders, headlined by our 23-year-old rookie Torsten Hornquist, who's in the first year as a high elite prospect, former second round pick in 2024. He's 14, 8, and 2 with a 900 save percentage, 2.78 goals against average. Linus Ullmark was supposed to be kind of like his stabilizer, his backup, his mentor. He's had a couple of incredible seasons, coming off of a 40-win season last year, but he's 6-5-0 through 12 appearances with an 881 save percentage and 3.24 goals against average. That's what's led us to look towards Philip Lindberg, the tried and true super sub, 5-2-0 through 7 games, 910 save percentage and 2.55 goals against average. The smallest sample size, but the best numbers of our 3 goaltenders so far this season. In his NHL career in simulation, 53, 17, and 5 through 80 games. Philip Lindberg, just a monster. And you know what? That was one of our biggest questions at the end of the last episode. Although the team is starting to click and the forwards and the defense, everyone's doing a lot better than we were in those first 15 games or so, Linus Ullmark still seems to be one of the weaker factors. Speaking of the weaker factors, and we'll get into it in the comments in a moment, Mats Rodin, a very difficult time for him. He's playing on the third pair right now. We tried him on the second pair. I don't think we did him first pair this season yet, but he's now in his 4th NHL season. He's always been a guy who's gotten his fair share of ice time. In his entire career, averaging 20-22 per night. This season, still 18.5, but the lowest of his career comparatively. 6 points, -12 in 39 games, on pace to barely hit double digits for points. In the last 3 years, he's gotten 15 in his rookie season, but then followed by 34 and 27 last year. So Mats Rodin, we're really hoping for more from him. He is a former 6th overall pick of this team. He's in the first of an 8-year extension, paying him $6 million per year. So we're really hoping that as the team turns it around, Mats Rodin will also turn it around, because he lost his second pair spot to Kniazev, who's been a monster. 10 points as a two-way D with that 94 shot blocking, 93 stick checking. He's been a pillar here in San Jose ever since we showed up, and he is poised to break career highs in points as well. And he's also thriving with those added minutes. So great for Artemi Kniazev, second round pick back in 2019. Kniazev, Hurdle, Eklund, and Cunnin, the 4 last remaining original Sharks that we inherited when we took over the team. So while we're on the topic of personnel, we'll go ahead and jump into the comments, starting off with Pat, who said, "Is Rodin trash? The evidence against him is mounting. Kiviharju in his rookie season is already better through 41 games. Great episode, and the team is looking good at the halfway mark, especially with the slow start. My only note is to try to find a way to get Samu Ranta in the top 6. I think he's the eventual Buchnevich or Drouin replacement. Agreed? Need to get that ice time up with what he's doing. If he stays third line, though, double shift him on the power play. He is a menace. I wouldn't look to bring in anybody at the deadline. deadline or make any other moves this season. At best, it would be a lateral move in my opinion. The big addition will be Connor Bedard's return, which I believe will be as of next game. I'd also write out Larry Tanguay. Maybe there is room next year or not, but he's been a post-hype sleeper this season. I'd start thinking about maybe moving on from Rodin, henceforth known as Cone Dean. If you're in the Discord server, you definitely know that one. After this year, if he doesn't show improvement. He has been the team's worst player for 2 videos now. He wasn't great in the postseason, and he hasn't been good to start this season as well. So I see Pat's point. I appreciate him raising it. There was a lot of pushback in the Discord server. I don't think we're looking to trade Rodin at this moment. I don't think so at all. But I think it would be an option that we could start to consider if this were to become a trend longer term. Now, that being said, Samu Ranta, with his 14 minutes of ice time per night on average this year, is on pace for 32 goals and 52 points in his rookie season. So if we could get him in that top 6, it would definitely be worth our while, I would think. Cody Glass has been filling in on the second line center, but in theory, we could put William Eklund with his 77 faceoffs down the middle, and then Ranta, he has 79 faceoffs, could come on that second line and give them a +5. We'll keep that in mind as Bedard will be back for next game. Not really something we need to do right now. But at the very least, double shifting him on the power play would be a good idea to pump up that ice time. Moving over to Cheating Heels comment now, who says, glad to see the team getting things back on track, you and me both. There's not much interesting on the trade block right now. Maybe we take a chance on Dawson Mercer as a 13th forward. He's an 81 overall. If Cody Glass moves on during the offseason and Cunnin takes his spot as third line center, maybe having Dawson Mercer as a Swiss Army knife kind of guy could be a good move. Now, quickly pausing this comment just to pull that up. Cody Glass, in a perfect world, I would like him to move into top 6 center, the second line center to be specific, next season if Tomas Hertl is to continue regressing. It'll really depend on whether or not Hertl stays in that top 6 or not, but regardless, Luke Cunnin, I don't think I see him as third line center, and Cole Lind is kind of like our Swiss Army guy right now, 85 overall third liner, who's on the 4th line just to help out Larry Tanguay right now, but really he could play middle 6, he could play power play, penalty kill. I think I see Cole Lind as that guy, so I'm not closing the door on Dawson Mercer or bringing in anyone else at the deadline, but if we did bring in someone, it would likely be an expiring 4th line presence. Cheating Heel goes on to also give suggestions about other players we can bring in, maybe not for right now, but for the near future. In the spirit of speeding up our timeline to replace Buchnevich, Drouin, Glass, I'd look at getting one of the young wingers from either the Rangers, Flyers, or Golden Knights. They have some prospects on the block over there that we'll take a look at in a moment. Looks like our acquisition from Detroit, Justin Carcillo, might already be able to plug one of these holes. So if we can find someone to plug another hole, we'd be in a very good position. Carcillo came over as a 76. We put him in the AHL. He's up to a 78. He's been a great addition. Hopefully a top 9 forward sooner rather than later. If we have some prospects with decent value that we're not sold on, or some veterans we can spare, such as Linus Ullmark, it might be a good move to try to acquire a first-round pick from a team that's currently outside of the playoffs, but trying to make a push for it. Maybe we can find a team that needs a goalie. I wouldn't tinker too much with the lineup at this time unless someone becomes available last minute prior to the deadline. That might be a real difference maker. Only thing I might try would be to play Rodin with someone else and see if we can improve his plus-minus, as it's quite terrible right now. Maybe we send him a message that we expect more after extending him to a big contract by sending him on the 3rd pair until game number 50 and reevaluate. Go Sharks. Thank you, Cheating Heel. Well, Rodin has been on the 3rd pair for a little bit. I think his numbers have improved with Pickering slightly. I think he was -13, then he went to like -9, now he's back to -12. Pickering, he himself is a +1. I don't know if I want to bring anyone down. If anyone, it would be Kniazev, as I think he's a stronger defensive presence. So maybe we swap Kniazev and Pickering in the spirit of trying to help out Rodin. But for the time being, I'm going to keep it as it's been. Kniazev and Kiviharju have been a very good pair. +13, and both +13 actually, while Hughes and Boris, the Latvian locomotive, or as we've been calling him as well in the Discord server, the Latvian Leviathan, has just been amazing on that top pair in his 2nd season. Now his sophomore year, Quinn Hughes is fighting for back-to-back Norris trophies. So there's the update on the team. Thank you everyone for those comments and for the other lovely comments down there in the YouTube and Discord sections, where I always take the time to reply to, but not always the time to get to each one individually in video, but they're always very much appreciated. Looking at those prospects that Cheating Heel suggested, we had the Rangers, the Flyers, and the Golden Knights. So the New York Rangers, again, not making any moves at this moment, but to keep in mind for the deadline. The Rangers have a young winger here, Strudwick, as well as Eckford. I would think Eckford's the guy. Yeah, because he's actually the one on the block. So actually, yeah, looking at matching the block. Eckford, he is, let's see, Sean Eckford, playmaker, 19 years of age, 16th overall pick. He's playing with the London Knights down in the OHL, and he has 38 points in 24 games. Anything that really stands out attribute-wise? Only 2.5-star puck skills. Okay, keep that in mind. The Philadelphia Flyers have this guy Fowler, 21 years of age, 76 overall, Braden Fowler, 9th overall pick in 2025. Also a playmaker, has only played one game down in the AHL, 46 and 70 last year, and this year he's just been a healthy scratch. Okay, and then over on Vegas, we see Lorentz. Yes, Lorentz. Is it Damien? No, Doug Lorentz. High top 6 playmaker, another playmaker. 7th overall pick in 2027. Down in the QMJHL, 26 points in 23 games. Now, honestly, none of these guys really speak to me in the same levels that Carcillo did over on the Detroit Red Wings. Vegas, I could see them selling a prospect to get a player for a push. Flyers, I could see the same thing, and the same for the Rangers. All teams that are above 500 and trying to make something happen in the postseason. Now, that being said, no other changes will be necessary. As we sim to this game against the Sabres, Connor Bedard should be back. Let's see if that is the case. Yes, he's fully healed. So I'll take a moment to update the lines, getting him back in the lineup as he missed 8 games. And then I'll update the scouting, and we'll keep on simulating. All right, we are now fully healthy. The scouts have been sent out, and we are ready to kick off the second half of this 7th season in San Jose with a pace of 50, 28, and 4 as our goal. Let's see if we can crack 50 wins and maybe hit that 3rd consecutive President's Trophy. Here we go at the KeyBank Center against the Buffalo Sabres, who are a pretty good team with a similar record themselves. First period, 1-0. It's Pavel Buchnevich on that top line with Connor Bedard. Second period, 2-1. Connor Bedard, welcome back to the lineup. And then Rasmus Asplund will stop those 2 goals. It is now a 1-goal lead for the Sharks headed into the 3rd period. Shots pretty even as well, 16-15 headed into the 3rd after 40 minutes. Only 3 goals scored between these 2 teams. Ryan Johansson ties it at 2 past Torsten Hornquist. We have just 10 minutes to go now. Power play Sharks late in the 3rd. That's killed off. We have just about 7 minutes to go. The Sabres are leading in the shots now by just a bit. With 3 minutes to go, final 2 minutes. Ryan Johansson's the lone goal in the 3rd final seconds, and we'll head to overtime. Shots 28-26 for the Sharks. You know what? To kick off the episode, let's head into overtime. Always fun to see a little bit of overtime action. Connor Bedard at the dot. He and Pavel Buchnevich, the lone goal scorers tonight, the 2 of our 3 first-liners. A goal for us gives us win number 26. A goal for the Sabres gives them win number 25. Here's Charlie Corson, one of these Sabres' top players. Poked by Bedard, but he gets through. Almost cruises his way through the crease, but loses possession. Owen Power at the point. Over to Bo Horvat. Here's Big Bo, just wide. Power regains possession. Corson in the corner now. This 3-on-3 action. Power, Bo. That one-timer's broken up by Quinn Hughes, who's off to the races now. Pats in, Quinn! Pats in! On net, come on, buddy. Stops up in the corner. Looking for options. Quinn to LUCIUS! Pad save from Vitek Vanacek. Hughes gets that off Bedard, winning the face-off. Bedard looking for options. That shot is blocked. Rebound opportunity after hit off a couple legs. Now a power play coming up for the Sharks. It's going to be 2 minutes for slashing towards Charlie Corson. Charlie Corson disgusted in the penalty box. Alternate captain of the Sabres at his home arena here. Blocks it, and then he slashes Bedard. I don't think Bedard even reacted, but the top power play in the NHL now has an opportunity here in overtime. Boris, the Latvian locomotive, over to Eklund, to Samu Ranta. Nice move there. Loses possession, but trucks Bolton in the corner. Here's the Latvian Leviathan. Eklund on net, stopped by Vanacek. Dahlin gets bumped. Kalinin regains possession. Now here's Bedard with help. Bedard just puts it on net. Vanacek makes that save. Not a hard one, really, either. Kalinин's shot just goes wide. Buchnevich to the point. It's Drouin now. Jonathan Drouin loses it. That exits Buffalo territory. Now here's Dahlin killing the final 10 seconds of that power play. Gets bumped by Drouin. Let's change up. Actually, whoa, Drouin, what are you doing? Cousins, Dahlin. What in the world was that? Quinn wins that face-off to Kalinin. Giveaway to Quinn. What are you doing, buddy? Thankfully saved by Hornquist, and we are headed to a shootout. Always difficult to watch the EA simulation, but we made it. Shots end 33-29 in our favor through 65 minutes, and now here we are in the shootout, and it all starts with Connor Bedard kicking it off as our first shooter. Here comes Bedard on Vanacek. Bedard windmill for some reason and loses the puck. This is what I'm talking about when I say how terrible the in-game simulation, or just the in-game play is. The AI. Disgusting. Here's Dahlin, stopped by Hornquist. Chaz Lucius on pace for 108 points this season. Nice backhand that's stopped by Vanacek. Now here comes Jack Quinn. He had a chance to end it late in overtime. What in the world was that? And it just goes wide. I wouldn't have been surprised if that counted as a goal. Samu Ranta now with the chance to win it for us. Possibly put us ahead at the very least. And come on! That's not in. Oh, I thought maybe it could have gone. Now here is Bunting. Michael Bunting to win it for the Sabres. And it's a pad save from Hornquist. Another chance for us to go back ahead now. It's Pavel Buchnevich. Nice little move. That's stopped by Vanacek. And back ahead. By back ahead, I mean just go ahead, as no one has scored yet in the shootout. Charlie Corson now to win it. He took that penalty in overtime. Can he redeem himself? Yes, he can, and he wins in front of the home fans. Charlie Corson wins it in the shootout. We do get the extra point, but an unfortunate loss. 2 goals from our top line in that one, which is always great, but we got to get some more depth scoring going. An unfortunate loss there in the shootout, but we are now 25-14-3. Gives us the point. We'll take it. Let's get some calendar simulation done here with Hornquist being our starter, backed up by Lindbergh with the auto goalie rotate turned on. We'll see how those two do as a tandem. We beat Montreal 4-2 in Montreal at the Bell Center. On the road for 4 games. Now that was game 2 of 5. We beat the Penguins in Pennsylvania. We stayed in Pennsylvania, then lose in the shootout 6-5 against the Flyers. The Stars, we beat them 3-2 in Dallas. Now we're back home to take on the Sabres. We lost in the shootout against just a week prior. Let's see what happens at home this time. 5-2 victory. Very nice. Redeeming ourselves. Then we beat the Wild 5-2 as well. There's win number 30. Anaheim Ducks, we beat them 5-1. All right, so nice little stretch right there. Our worst performance probably came against the Flyers, where we allowed 5 goals. Not sure who was in the net for that one. But we've been holding teams down pretty well. 1 goal against, 2 goals against, 2 goals against, 2 goals against, 1 goal against. Very good. This is what the type of goaltending and defense I like to see, especially when from guys like Mats Rodin. I hope that his plus-minus has been improving. Nights where we score 5 and allow 1. Let's go see Winnipeg. They have a very good record. We beat the Predators 5-4 on the road. Then the Vancouver Canucks also on the road. A little road trip here. We lose 2-1 in regulation. So there you go. We only allowed 2, but we didn't get the scoring in this one after we scored 5 goals in 4 consecutive games. And 5 out of 6 if you count the one again. It's actually 6 out of 7. Well, yeah, a lot of goal scoring. So we are 32-15-4, taking on the 35-15-1 Winnipeg Jets, who are atop the Central Division with 71 points. Our biggest, they're the top team in the league right now. So this would be a huge 2 points right here if we can beat them in the race for the President's Trophy. Here we go in Winnipeg in January, no less. It was a cold one to get in, but here we are. First period action, 0-0 after 20. Shots 11-10 in our favor. Second period now, 2-1 Winnipeg. Samu Ranta opens up the scoring. Then McGroarty shorthanded, and Ehlers on the power play. A couple special teams goals right there. We're down 2-1 after 40. We just need 1, though, to get back on even playing field. Let's go. Shots 20. And there it is. Jonathan Drouin ties it up at 2. And the shots are 30-26, but we have a tie game halfway through this third period. Big goal. Power play now for the Sharks. Held off by the Jets. We take the lead now in the shots. 33-31 in the final 2 minutes of this one. Final 50 seconds, and we're headed to overtime. Shots 35-31. I would go in to watch it if it weren't just so unbearable for my eyeballs. Let's just sim through overtime here. We at least get the point, but we want to get 1 more if possible in the name of that 3rd consecutive President's Trophy. Nothing after 65 minutes. In the shootout, we take it thanks to Chaz Lucius scoring the winner against his former team, the team that drafted him. Shots end 37-32 in our favor, and we take it in the shootout. As Hellebuck and Hornquist were the 2 stars in this one, making 35 and 30 saves respectively. Quinn Hughes, 2 assists. I wonder if he still leads the league in that category. Very, very nice. We now have, that gives the Jets 72 points, and we have 70. All right, the tight race continues through 52 games. Let's get closer to the trade deadline. Any strong Eastern Conference team that we can go see here? Not especially until, I'd say, the game against the Senators. So let's just keep on simulating. No need to stop. A bruised hip now from Philip Lindbergh. Unfortunate. Only keeps him out for a little bit. So he was starting that second of a back-to-back against the Stars in Dallas. How have his numbers looked I'm just curious. He had 7 games played at the halfway point. Now 8 games played. Got another win. That's nice. But we'll be able to get Linus Ullmark back in the crease, as he will now back up Torsten Hornquist for the next couple of weeks until Lindbergh is fully healthy. Or maybe he runs away with it. I don't know. We'll see. In the end, we beat Dallas 5-2. Thank you very much. 34-15-4 at the All-Star break. Taking on Vancouver at home, and then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-game Eastern Conference streak, both at home and on the road. We lose 4-3 in the shootout to the Canucks. Now on the road, Philip Lindbergh fully healthy. I'm going to keep him out for a little bit longer because we have a back-to-back here. Big 7-3 win against the Devils. I would assume Linus Ullmark's in net for one of these. 4-0 shutout. I hope Linus Ullmark got the shutout. That would be great for him, but even if not, 3 goals against. We'll take the 4-1 victory as well against Columbus, and we are 37-15-5 through 57 games, which puts us on top of the NHL. The Jets do have a game in hand, but we are 2 points ahead of them. Let's just get Lindbergh back in the lineup and check out Ullmark's numbers. Did Ullmark get the shutout? Yes, he did, I believe. Yeah, because Hornquist has none. So there you go. Big shutout victory for Ullmark. You know what? Let's keep him in there for a little bit more. At the very least, it just will add to his trade value. So no need to replace him just yet, especially after he gets a shutout victory. Let's give him the crease here against the Ottawa Senators. It's going to be a tough matchup, but if he can win a game like this, then maybe we don't end up trading him, and it's good to have the 3-goalie approach headed into the postseason. The Senators are 30-20-4, one of the top teams in the East. I didn't see their divisional spot, but I would assume that they're close to the top at the Canadian Tire Center here in Ottawa. First period, 1-0 Senators. It's Alex Formenton on the power play. Second period, 1-1. Samu Ranta ties it up past Mads Sogard. Shots are tied at 22 through 40. Third period action now. Connor Bedard puts us ahead with the second, and Chaz Lucius just 53 seconds later gives us a 2-goal lead. 3-1 over the Senators. Make that 4 as Jonathan Drouin adds in on the action. He doesn't want to miss out. Shots 30-25. Tyson Jost giving the Senators some life. Then Eric Brandstrom also giving the Senators another one there just, 16 seconds later. We're up by 1 with 5 minutes to go. Shots 36-28 in our favor. It's going to be a tight one late. And Max Rodin, of all people, there he is, adds the empty netter. We score 3. The Senators score twice. It was a tight one in the end, but we hang on for the victory. Shots 37-29. A sub-900 save percentage technically for Ullmark in that one. Goal and 2 assists for Tyson Jost, but not enough as we come away with the regulation victory. Not the most impressive numbers from Ullmark, but still definitely doable. Not too much action left until the trade deadline. Lindbergh is the guy I trust more, so as much as I want Ullmark's value to go up, and we got a bit lucky in that one. If we didn't score the amount of goals that we did, it would have been an unfortunate sub-900 save percentage loss. Through 15 appearances, he has an 897. That's kind of who he's been this year. Last year, incredible. 8 shutouts, 40 wins, great stuff, but you just got to go by the simulation. Whatever the simulation has deemed to be reality, that's what you got to go with. You can't really go with history, unfortunately, especially for the goalies of all positions. Hornquist, by the way, now up to an 83 overall. That's great. Lindbergh, get back in there. Speaking of Hornquist, we got to start thinking about an extension for him. He's now up to an 83 overall. He's only going to start wanting more, and you know I do not like paying goalies with how inconsistent they are. I don't want to look at any other stats just yet, aside from just defense plus minuses. Great numbers from Quinn Hughes. He's a plus 29. Cleanan plus 13. Kania's 14. Kiviharu 19. All right, the third pair D has gotten better. -5 for Rodin and plus 6 for Pickering. Very good. All right, we'll take it. We'll take it. Rodin still has his power play time. He's still getting whatever third unit penalty kill. I think we can survive like this. Let's get back to the calendar. The Wings are coming up, and they are 34-18-6. That'll be another good matchup. Let's get that one going. Speaking of records and numbers, down in the AHL, just to check it out, we're 36-12-3. Very good. So the Red Wings sit in second in the Atlantic Division behind the Maple Leafs. They want those 2 points. We want to keep going as we fight for the President's Trophy. We are definitely in the hunt with the record that we have had recently. Let's hit it. First period, 2-1 Sharks. Tomas Hertl and Connor Bedard opening it up, and Ferriero getting the lone goal so far for the Red Wings as Lindbergh starts for this one. Second period, 3-1 Sharks as Samu Ranta gets another pass to Ville Husso. Shots are 30-22 through 40 minutes, and we have the 2-goal lead, making it a 3-goal lead as the captain gets his second of the night. Lucas Raymond makes it a 2-goal game once more as he gets one past Philip Lindberg. Shots are 35-27 in our favor as we hit the halfway point of this third period. Up by 2, thanks largely in part to our 2 goals from Thomas Hertl, the captain leading by example. Final 2 minutes in this one, hanging on tight, and that should be enough to do it. Shots end 40-31. Great performance there from Philip Lindberg. Is that good enough? Yes, to get second star honors. Thomas Hertl, the captain, first star, of course, with his 2 goals, and Samu Ranta with 1. We come away with that 4-2 victory, and we now sit 1 away from 40 wins. Let's keep on simulating as we get closer to the trade deadline. Actually, we'll go to the game against the Maple Leafs, but actually, if we do that, then it might bring us into that mini game. Not sure. Connor Clifton on waivers. 77 overall. No, I'm gonna pass. We don't need that. We have guys like Simon Benoit down in the AHL who's a 78. So with the opportunity for 40 wins now at home against the Flyers. Ooh, wow, we lose 7-6 in the shootout, but then we win 5-4 in a shootout the next night to get that 40th victory. My goodness, a couple of high-scoring affairs. Then we beat the Hurricanes 5-4 in the shootout. Those are 3 consecutive games that go to a shootout. 3 consecutive high-scoring games, no less, that go to a shootout. The Bruins want to give us Dylan Strome and a 3rd-round pick for Larry Tanguay and is it Philippe Geoffrion? Geoffrion, one of our prospects with medium top 6 potential. I'm interested in Dylan Strome, but I want to wait till we get to the deadline. The Bruins are also a winning team, so I don't know if that makes a ton of sense for them. We beat them 4-1, and then the Canucks were 26-5. They beat us 3-2 in regulation. We are 42-16-6, and we sit atop the NHL with the Jets 5 points behind with a game in hand. So through 64 games, I know we're not at the deadline yet, but if I sim through this game, I believe it'll bring us to the trade deadline, then ask us do we want to go into the mini game and all that. So instead, I think we'll stop right here and take a moment to check out the stats. We know that we sit atop the NHL, but we just want to double check on special teams and stuff like that. We continue to score more while getting scored against less. Very good. Power play at 28.6, still atop the league, and penalty kill of 88.2 is now 4th best in the NHL. So no need to think about any depth pickup to say who's good at shot blocking for the penalty kill or anything like that. If we pick up anybody, it would probably be 4th line, but not for the special teams. Now, Chaz Lucius has guaranteed himself a point per game plus season as he has 82 points in through 64 games. That'll be 3 consecutive point per game plus seasons. Extremely impressive stuff from the 25-year-old who we picked up from the Winnipeg Jets in a deal where we gave them a couple pieces to go on a Stanley Cup run, and in exchange we got a highly touted prospect who has worked out incredibly for us so far. Quinn Hughes already with 73 points through 64 games. Pavel Buchnevich with 71 through 64. Connor Bedard with 69 and 56. Really great stuff. And then to end it off with the point per game plus players, Thomas Hertl at the age of 35 has 60 points through 59 games, on pace to have 82 plus, which would be, last year he already had 74. He's on pace to get even more than that. Could very well be a career high. Yeah, last season he tied his career high. This season at the age of 35, we could see career high numbers from Thomas Hertl. So 5 point per game plus players so far in San Jose. Jonathan Drouin, 53 and 59. We'll take that. Eklund, 48. Ranta, 41. Lynn, 32. Kalinin, 29. Larry Tanguay, 28 points. I'll take that. 15 goals so far. Cody Glass, his ice time is very much reduced from last season, I believe, like no power play. 28 points, well, a minute less than last year. He's doing what he has to do defensively, I would hope, but his offense has dried up a tad. Leo Carlson, I'm impressed with him. 24 points in 64 games with the limited ice time. Kiviharu, 15 and plus 15. Pickering, 14. Eugene Riley, 9 goals, 13 points for the 4th line grinder. We'll take it. And a plus 2. Kniazev, 11. Rodin, 11 with a negative 8. Okay. Kunin, Siegenthaler, all right. Goaltenders, Hornquist has improved very nicely. He's 25, 10, and 6. Still no shutouts in his NHL career just yet. 904 save percentage, 2.67 goals against. Lindberg, 8, 2, and 0. Allmark, 9, 5, and 0. In 5 more games, he has an 897 save percentage versus Lindberg's 906 and 2.82 goals against versus Lindberg's 2.66. I do lean keeping Lindbergh over Allmark if we were to move one. It would have to be the right deal. It would have to be a team that needs a goalie and is willing to give up a draft pick, who could be a fringe team. Maybe we add in a prospect or two. It would have to be the right deal. I don't think we're really forcing ourselves to say we have to make something happen. I know we have the last couple seasons. Burakovsky was a pickup a couple years ago, huge piece in our Stanley Cup run. Malkin last year, but we have Samu Rant on that third line now. If anything, we could just move Lind up to that third line and move Tanguay down maybe. So I'm content with the lineup unless something really stands out. So as always, I'll do my due diligence and come back with any options. Now, here's a deal that I'm thinking about with the New Jersey Devils. Of all the teams in NHL that are in the playoffs or pushing for the playoffs, the Devils are the only team that does not have an NHL caliber tandem, as they have like a 70 overall in the backup role to, is it Tarasov? Yeah, there you go. Every other teams that want a goalie have like 380 overall plus goalies. Makes no sense. They don't technically want Allmark, but I don't get why. They're in the hunt for the postseason. They only have one more season left after this one of Jack Hughes at that $8 million price tag, Luke Hughes expiring deal, Alex Holtz expiring deal, Dougie Hamilton expiring deal. The Devils should be wanting to make a push, and Linus Ullmark's going to help them get there. So giving up a first-round pick shouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Now, we are confident that we'll go on a deep run, and we think that our first-round pick is going to be like 30th, 31st, 32nd overall, and we're taking a chance hoping that the Devils either won't make the postseason or will lose out early, and by making this trade, we get to move up essentially maybe 10, 15 spots or more in the draft. Now, I don't think they'll do it because they're not technically interested, but I do want to offer it and see what happens. Our first and Linus Ullmark to the Devils for their first. It isn't very interesting to them. We do have some prospects that are of interest to them, like Brian Waugh, who is 21 years of age, 62 overall, medium elite. You would think maybe now's a good time to dump him, but at the same time, medium elite, that you could see crazy off-season growth there. So I want to at least maybe try to the end of this season, and worst case, we trade him next year. So I don't want to give up on him just yet, just because medium elites can jump out of nowhere sometimes. Low elites, in my experience, at this point, is probably too late. But for medium elites, I want to see what happens with him before we give up. I'm open to giving up, just I don't want to give up just yet. Scrolling through here, like there's James Redenbach, who's 66 at 20 years of age. Nathaniel, but crazy numbers. Oh, I like those junior numbers. Like if we throw in McElhaney, how close does that get us? This guy was low top 6. Ricky, yeah, 6th round pick, power forward. Does this get us any closer? Not particularly. I had liked this pick for Dimitrakos. The good Greek boy, 4th round pick with good potential, but at 49 overall, it's hard to say that. It's hard to convince myself that he's actually going to be anything. So if I give you, let's take out McElhaney, Dimitrakos a first and Ullmark to get your first. What do you say to this, New Jersey? Isn't where you need to be in value offered, nor are we particularly interested. It's a good package. I think the trade value is very fair. It's just that on paper, technically, they don't want to do it, even though I'd actually be helping them to make the postseason. Let's throw in McElhaney, see what happens if we add him to the deal. New Jersey, what do you say? You aren't where you need to be. So I don't think it's going to happen. Even though they need a goalie and we're just swapping first and you get 2 prospects with good potential out of it, the value's in your favor, they don't want to do it. My last resort would be to add a late pick, but it's a good draft. I don't want to be burning picks just to move up like 10, 15 spots. So we already have only our first to 5th in both upcoming years. I'd do a 6th in 2031. Any thoughts on that? No. So, unfortunately, not going to happen. I don't always keep these rejected trades in video. Sometimes I just cut it because there was like 10 minutes saved sometimes when it's a crazy rabbit hole. But I do want to keep that in just to show you that. I did try to make it happen, and no other team really has a fit for Ullmark, so I think we will end up keeping him. Now, in terms of other trades, I only found really one other deal that made sense. A losing team that was selling, who had a good 4th line piece for us to pick up, and that is the Columbus Blue Jackets, who do have Tyler Madden on the block. Franchise mode legend with the Philadelphia Flyers franchise. Good 4th line center. Very, very clutch. If you know, you know. I think having an extra, like, 14th guy is a good idea. Luke Cunnin is our 13th forward as an 81, absolutely. But if you get 2 injuries, you're up the creek. You got to call up some 77 overall from the AHL. So to be a contending team, I think it makes a ton of sense to go out and get Tyler Madden. I would prefer to trade you a prospect that I don't want. I think all these guys have too much value. value, though. I'd have to take back a pick, and you wouldn't want to give me a pick. So I don't want to give you picks in this year's draft. We have a first, 2 seconds, a fourth, and a fifth. We got to recoup picks, if anything. So I guess we'll go late picks. That's what these teams do nowadays. Picks that are 3-4 years down the road. I used to feel bad that it was like unrealistic, but after this year's trade deadline, it makes a ton of sense. So a 7th in 2031, I just want to see what kind of value they have on Madden as a losing team, expiring player, 79 overall kind of guy. It shouldn't take a ton of value, and there you go. They're happy to do it. So let's do it. Thank you very much. We believe this transaction will contribute to our success here in Columbus, so we are accepting your trade offer. A 7th in 2031. Tyler Madden, welcome to the organization, Bello. I don't think we have to actually fix up anything with the roster. We have 20 out of 20 skaters, so that should be perfectly fine. So there we go. 20 skaters, 3 goalies. We're going to roll like that, and we are ready to head into the final 20 games of the year. Actually, it was Larry Tonge who got sent down. Yeah, Larry. So we could send down Eugene Riley. We don't have to risk waivers. Or we send down Tyler Madden, but he does have to go through waivers, and I am afraid that he could get claimed. So, Eugene, buddy, I'm going to send you down just for the moment so I can fix this up. And then after the deadline, maybe we could swap you and Madden, because then I always forget when waivers don't matter anymore in EA land. So just for the moment, we'll swap Riley and Tonge, and Cunnin will play on the 4th line. But I would like to get Riley back into the 4th line role maybe a week from now. So that's taken care of, and we're now ready to rock and roll into the final 20 games or so, or technically 18 more games. And here we go, at home against the Maple Leafs. Top team in the West versus top team in the East. Am I correct in saying so? No, actually, the Sabres and the Hurricanes are both above them, but the 3rd best. Top in the West versus 3rd best in the East. They are 37-18-5. We're 42-16-6. 8-1-1 in our last 10 at home. Last game before the deadline, even though I don't foresee any more moves aside from that depth pickup of Tyler Madden. First period, 1-0 Maple Leafs. It's Mitch Marner on the power play. Second period, 3-1 Leafs as William Eklund ties it, but then Leeson and Robertson give the Leafs a 2-goal lead now. Shots are 22-19 in our favor, but we're down by 2 in the 3rd period, and we got to get back in as soon as possible. But Mitch Marner scores his 2nd of the night to make that a 3-goal lead for the Leafs now, as it may be a bit too much, perhaps insurmountable at this point, unless something comes soon. And now, hold on, Chaz Lucius on Cal Peterson, down by 2 with 6 minutes to go. Not too late, but then we take a penalty. Power play Leafs, we kill it off. Final 2 minutes, and that'll be all she wrote. Shots end 32-31 in our favor, but we drop that one 4-2 in regulation. 2 goals from Mitch Marner, 30 saves from Cal Peterson. All right, so at the deadline through 65 games, we are 42-17-6. Let's sim to the next game going through the deadline. No other moves for us to make. We'll check out what the league has done as well. We'll keep the current block. We'll sim through the deadline and see what the league did. All right, so taking a look around the league now. Any big moves that we can see? Vegas ends up acquiring Dylan Strome from the Bruins. Brett Pesce and Jan Mysak go to the Oilers from the Canadiens. Rickard Rakell going to the Rangers from the Blackhawks. Nazem Kadri to the Canucks from the Ducks. Kirby Dach going to the Coyotes from the Canadiens. Matt Duchene and Will Butcher going from the Flames to the Maple Leafs. Joel Eriksson Ek and a couple picks going to the Canucks from Minnesota. Jared McCann, a 2nd and a prospect for Adam Boqvist as Boqvist goes to Seattle. Our old friend Ilya Samsonov. I thought the Devils didn't want a goalie. They go ahead and get Samsonov from the Flames in exchange for a 2nd and a prospect. Sam Steele to the Sabres. That's about it. Pavel Zacha to the Rangers, and there you go. Some other moves around the league. So some teams getting stronger, absolutely. We'll take on Kirby Dach and the Coyotes in this game here. Of course, they're 25-32-6. Let's go out and get Kirby Dach. Great decisions from Coyotes management. A lot of interesting games coming up here. We face the Avalanche twice in 4 weeks, and we face the Wild twice in 3 days. The Flames 3 times in like 10 days, or 9 days actually. Then the Blues twice in 1 week. All right, let's go ahead and start simulating and see what storylines come out of these games over the days of March. Starting on the road against the Coyotes and a sprained ankle for Pavel Buchnevich. Boy, we do win that game on the road, but now we'll have, I suppose, Tyler Madden. Yeah, let's get him in the lineup. I know Eugene Riley is waiting to get some ice time, and he'll get it. But let's get Madden in here. We'll go Drouin on the top line, Ranta into the top 6, Cole Lind to the 3rd, And then fourth will be Cunnin, Carlson, and Madden. Thankfully not a long-term injury. Of course, comes to the screen. Now you got to stop the sim, go back. Kiwi was injured, now he's healthy. Okay, that's good. And alright, so it was a 4-1 win followed by a 6-1 win in those first 2 games of a 4-game road trip. Love to see that. Let's go see the Wild's second game here. We're going to face Chicago, then Minnesota, then we'll go home to take on the Wild once again. 5-2 win against the Blackhawks. That's 3 in a row. And we won 3 out of 4. 4 out of 4 that little road trip. Beautiful. We beat the Wild 3-2 on the road. Now we face them the day after, 2 days after playing them in Minnesota to take them on and welcome them into the Shark Tank. First period, 2-1 Wild. Caswell scoring twice, Kalinin scoring for us on Wallstedt. Second period, 3-1, Kirill Kaprizov. We're down by 2, being outshot 29-19, I think, to start off the third period. Down by 2, let's go. Power play Sharks to get back in it. Killed off by the Wild. About to say the Flames. I'm ready for that 3 games in the 9 days or 8 days coming up. Down by 2, still 8-0 coming. Let's call it. 4-1 the finals. The Wild get another one. And of course, the slow sim breaks our winning streak and stops it at 4 games. Now we'll host the Flames, then go on the road for Calgary Blues, then host Calgary Blues again after taking on Vegas in there as well. So let's go. We are 4 wins away from that 50 that we projected for at the halfway point, and Pavel Buchnevich should be back in the lineup any day now. Should be after this game against Calgary, actually. And here we go. Tyler Madden, what did you do, buddy? Let's see it. How many games did you play with us in that little time frame? 4 games, 1 goal, 2 penalty minutes, 7 shots, even plus minus. We'll take it. Very nice ice time. Playing 10.50 per night. What a guy. All right, Tyler Madden. Good to see that you're able to score. Gets his first as a Shark as well, and the 19th goal of his career, and he's ready for some postseason action, perhaps. Lines back to normal. We'll go back to the calendar simulation. Let's pause. There we go. 4-2 win against the Flames. We'll face them one more time before hosting them at home again. On the road to take on Calgary, then St. Louis. Let's see what we can do now in a back-to-back. Lindbergh likely starting one of these. 5-4 win against the Flames, and then a 6-1 win against the Blues. Love to see that. Looking for win number 50 at home against Vegas, and there it is. 3-1 victory with still, 8 games left in the season. We get our 50th victory. Love to see it. Let's just keep on simulating at this point, actually. We got our 50th win. Let's go see what's a good, tough matchup to finish off the year. The Avalanche have 40 wins. The Oilers are a losing team. We'll go see them. Let's go see the Kings and then the Oilers, sorry. We'll go watch the last 2 games of the season. Let's go. Calgary, this time we lose 5-1 after beating them 4-2 and 5-4. All right, understandable. The Blues, after beating them 6-1, now they beat us 3-2 in overtime. Anaheim Ducks, facing them on the road, we beat them 5-2. Chicago Blackhawks, they have a... Oh, look at that! I was going to say just hovering around 500 and we win 9-8. What a barn burner. Injured wrist for Buchnevich before the postseason. Not good. We allow 8, but we score 9. What a game against the Blackhawks. All right, so we made the adjustments with Buchnevich out. Eugene Riley back in the lineup as well. Tyler Madden sent down to the AHL. Honestly, I don't even know if waivers matter or if he made it through waivers and no one claimed him. I don't know, in EA land. I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry. So after that 9-8 win, we also win 5-2 against the Avalanche. 3 more games left in the season on the road against Vancouver. Then we have 2 games at home. 3-2 victory, and now we will try to get from 54 to 56 wins. If I'm remembering correctly, I know last season we won the President's Trophy with a 57-win season, but the year before that we won the President's Trophy 2 years ago, and we won the Stanley Cup ultimately. I think it was, I want to say like 50... anywhere between 52 or 54 wins, or maybe it was even 56? I don't know. I'd have to go back in the archive. But I remember that last season was 57. That's what I do remember. But regardless, let's try and get as many as we can this year. First period, 0-0. Second period, 1-0 Kings. Jordan Spence getting it past Hornquist. Power play Sharks to start off the third period, killed off by the Kings. We have not scored a power play goal in the slow sim in ages. Gerard makes it 2-0 now for the Kings. Shots tied at 21, but we're down 2-0. Nothing has gone past Elvis Merzlikins, I believe. LA Kings 5-on-3 power play. We kill that off. 5 minutes to go. Power play late. There we go. Tomas Hertl past Merzlikins on the power play. We have 1 more to go. Come on. Push for it. Squeeze it out. Oh. And we lose 2-1 in regulation. And we will hope to get to 55, but 54, nothing to sneeze at either. Let's see if we can get it. I know the Kings also, they were pushing for a playoff ranking as well, as they have the Golden Knights behind them in the Pacific. So the Oilers are 34, 36, and 10. Sub 500, not making the postseason this year. One of our rivals in this series so far. So nice to kind of finish off the season against them. We want to make sure that it's a dub as well. So back to full strength, headed into game 82 on the year. I'm going to keep Samu Ranta on the second line just for this final regular season game. We're trying to get him to 30 goals in his rookie season. Let's see if he can do it. Eklund will play third line with Glass and Tanguay just for tonight. So here we go against the Edmonton Oilers for game number 82 at home. 54, 20, and 7. Seeing if we can hit 55 on the year. We're on pace to go for 50 at the halfway point. We're already at 54. It's already a success, but let's go for as many as possible. First period, 2-0 Sharks. Connor Bedard shorthanded, and Pavel Buchnevich, welcome back to the lineup. 2-0 after 20. Second period, 3-0 Connor Bedard, getting one more past Stuart Skinner. Looking for Samu Ranta. Put it on his stick, boys. Come on! Up 3-0 through 40 minutes. Third period, shots tied at 23, 5 minutes into the period. Oilers pulling away 28-23. The shots now as they get 5 in a row there. Halfway through the third, we're still hanging on to the 3-0 lead. Looking for a goal from Ranta. Looking for some more defensive shutdown. Power play Oilers late. We kill it off. Huge to end off the year with a shutout. Shots end 31-26 for the Oilers. But who makes 31 saves? It is Torsten Hornqvist. Is that possibly the first shutout of his career to end off the season? We'll check that out in the stats in a moment. 2 goals and an assist from Bedard. A goal and an assist from Buchnevich. No goal from Samu Ranta, but he caps off a great rookie season. And we finish off this year with our 55th win. Let's check out the stats. So in the end, we do indeed win our 3rd consecutive President's Trophy. After starting off the year, I think we were like 11, 12, and 1 at one point. What a march, what a climb back to the top of the NHL, finishing with 117 points, a record of 55, 20, and 7. We end up going 3.93 goals for per game and 2.71 goals against, making a nice healthy gap, I believe, between those two numbers, which were once the identical, I think, at one point for goals for and goals against. Power play ends at 28.3, once again leading the league in that regard. And penalty kill dropped a little bit, it did, down to 86.3. Still among the best in the league, but dropped from the 88s where we were. Still very good comparatively, but never want to lose too much. Our record in the end, at home, we were 28, 10, and 3, 27, 10, and 4 on the road, and we finish off the year going 7, 2, and 1, plus that shutout victory to end off the year. Point totals, now I cannot wait to see these. It is Chaz Lucius with 116 points. What a season from Chaz. On pace to go 108. He smashes that and goes 116. The first 100-plus point season of his career. New career highs in goals, assists, plus minus, shooting percentage at 17.1. Not as high as last year, but 2 more games played and 4 more goals scored. 45 goals, 71 assists, 116 points in a full 82-game season. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Plus 42. Only 20 penalty minutes. 38 power play points. 10 of his goals being game winners. Shorthanded goals as well, 4 of those. All with not like an egregious amount of ice time. 21-19. Not like he's playing 24 like a mule. 21-19. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. He throws the body. Okay, he had 53 hits. Not as much as last year, 118. More of a scoring touch. More of a passer this year as well. Hats off to Chaz Lucius. He's going to need some X-Factor boosts next year. Connor Bedard, he ends it off. He just marches back that last game where he got a couple goals. He made it. Leads the team in goals with 46 on the year. 74 games played, 46 goals, and 100 points. Back-to-back years of finishing with 100 on the nose and 3 consecutive 100-plus point seasons. In a year where Bedard gets 100 points or more, we win the President's Trophy. Only 16 penalty minutes as well, 24 power play points, career high in goals. He was very close to hitting 50 if he had a full healthy season. Wow, wow, wow. 21 and a half minutes of ice time per night. Incredible numbers. Pavel Buchnevich as well. 76 games played, 26 goals, 67 assists, and 93 points. What a pickup he was. I've really enjoyed our time with him. As a free agent, signed a 4-year deal, and he has been point per game plus in the last 3 years. Incredible, incredible. Less goals this year at 26, but 67 assists for a 93-point season, plus 25. He had 25 power play points. Really loved having Pavel Buchnevich on this team. Quinn Hughes, 89 points and a plus 47. Won the Norris Trophy last year in his first season with the Sharks with 68 points. You would think he has to win it again this season. More than doubles his goal total and gets 73 assists, more than his total points from last season. Wild stuff from Quinn Hughes. Really wild stuff. After him, we see Tomas Hertl, the captain, ends with 31 goals and 73 points. Does not break his career high of 74, but he does. Is that a new career high in goals? No, second best of his career with 31 goals scored. Take a bow, captain. Jonathan Drouin, 66 points in 77 games. Not quite the 88 overall who scored 46 goals last season, but I'll still be very content with 66 points in 77 games. On pace for probably about 70 from a guy making, was making $4.4 million. Now this season we gave him his 1 year, $10 million deal. I would think if either he or Buchnevich comes back, it would be Buchnevich. Drouin likely finishing off his final regular season as a Shark. William Eklund, his numbers went down this year, but the ice time was down as well. Only 58 on the year, his lowest in a couple of seasons after getting 79 and 84 the last couple of years respectively. But only 14 power play points. That's odd, I find, versus the 29 he got the year prior. He was still on the first unit, so I'm not sure why. He was playing close to a minute less of ice time per night, but still, I would have thought we would have seen a little bit more from William Eklund. Samu Ranta in his rookie season, 29 goals and 50 points. Love to see that. 28 power play points from the rookie. Incredible. Cole Lind, 38 points, 15 goals. Reduced role this season, but happy to have him signed on at the same AAV for the next couple of seasons. So good stuff from the utility man. Larry Tonga, he turned it around and scored 19 goals and 34 points as a 78 overall. His ice time ended up averaging out to 1140 per night. So I don't know, maybe we end up keeping Larry Tonga, but I'm pretty content with this season from him. Boris, the Latvian Leviathan Kalinin, scores 34 points and is a plus 32 through 82 games. Less goals than last year, but the same amount of points. A huge boost in plus minus and half the number of penalty minutes. Very good trend. Love to see that from Boris. 10 power play points and about close to 3 minutes more of ice time. That's 2.5 than last season. Love it, love it, love it. Great stuff, Boris. Cody Glass, another guy who saw a bit of a reduction this year, 33 points. Yeah, he was playing about a minute and a half less than last season and 14 less points, excuse me. No power play points, so we took him off most of the power play. He played a few games in the power play, but the 22 points he scored last season, not there this season. If he does replace Tomas Hertl and become second-line center and get that second unit power play, it'll come back. So I'm still open to Cody Glass coming back. I don't think this season was a real indication of what he can do. I think it was just the power play. I'm not going to look too much into that. I think it was just the power play for Cody Glass. Leo Carlson as a fourth-line center playing 9.5 minutes a night. He gets 28 points. Love that. Little reclamation. Hopefully he gets off-season growth. Owen Pickering, 15. Kiwi Haru in his rookie year, 15 points plus 16. Rodin ends with 15 points and -5, being a third-pair guy. Still 17.5 minutes of ice time per night, but hopefully he can turn it around moving forward. 14 points plus 16 from Kniazev, who ended up getting a lot of second-pair minutes. Love that from Artemi Kniazev, the 80 overall. Love, love, love that. Eugene Riley, 13 points in 67 games in his rookie season. Cunnin, only 6 points, 1 goal in 35 games. Siegenthaler, 7th D, didn't have to play too much. 7 games, -2. Goaltending, in the end, Hornquist goes 35, 12, and 7. And yes, that shutout to end off the season was the first of his NHL career. Ends with a .907 save percentage and 2.6 goals against average. Lindbergh backed up Hornquist a little bit more than Allmark did. 883 minutes versus 808 minutes. Lindbergh goes 11, 4, and 0 with a .905 save percentage and 2.72 goals against. Allmark 9-5-0 with 1 shutout, 897 save percentage, 2.82 goals against. The numbers aren't radically different between Lindbergh and Allmark, but I would say that we prefer Lindbergh moving forward. Now with 116 points, I gotta ask, did Chaz Lucius lead the NHL in scoring? And he did, by a huge margin. Chaz Lucius winning the Art Ross Trophy. What a year for Chaz. Closest is Connor Bedard in second in team and league scoring. After Bedard, the closest is Nick Ehlers, 19 points away. Then Kyle Connor, then Lindholm's on Calgary. So the top 4 goal scorers, 2 from San Jose and 2 from Washington. Then Buchnevich is there again. Hughes is there again. What a high-octane offense we had this season. Defense, we already know Quinn Hughes with his 89 points, but Cale Makar not far behind with 83, but a much better plus-minus. Quinn Hughes, I would say back-to-back back-to-back Norris trophies confirmed. Goaltending, let's see who led the league in wins. Ville Husso had 39 wins. Elvis, there he is with 39 as well. Best goalie, let's say minimum 50 games played and sort by save percentage. Vitek Vanacek, 920 save percentage and 2.47 goals against average. Likely the Vezina winner. Let's sort by goals against as well. Yeah, I would say Vezina goes to Vitek Vanacek. And finally, rookie skaters. Let's see, sorting by the points here. Where does Ranta sit? He's in first, so it could be a Calder trophy for Samu Ranta. Sutton, Stolar's a few guys who were behind him. 29 goals and 50 points. Could the 8th overall pick who stayed overseas win the Calder trophy? That would be amazing to see. Any rookie goalies who... Actually, Hornqvist, the only rookie goalie? Is that true? He could win it as well. So you would think, hopefully, we have 2 Calder nominees out of the 3. Great stuff here in San Jose. Then down in the AHL, just curious to check that out. Carcillo, 71 points in 72 games with now up to a 79 overall. Very good. Semenov, who we're also looking at for growth as medium top 6, but is 24 years of age, giving me some hope here. He could be a 4th-line guy for us next season. Very good from Semenov and Carcillo. Whitney, who's low elite, yeah, 55 points. Mikola, 30 goals from the power forward, 53 points. Very nice, very nice. Goaltending, how did Habshi do? No, that's why. There were other rookie goalies, I think, but I don't know why it does. I'm looking at minimum 50 games. That's why. Minimum 50 games. Habshi goes up 33, 11, and 2 with 13 shutouts. What? 906 save percentage, 2.31 goals against average. That has to be a record somewhere. He is still 79. And Jesus Foy backing him up. Wow. 7 out of his 17 wins came by shutout. 13 out of 33 for Habshi. But 17, 7, and 2 was Foy's record. 7 shutouts, 920 save percentage, and 2.01 goals against. Wow, it's going to be tough in the crease here in San Jose. We have some good prospects. So now that I fixed the minimum 50 games, sorry, all rookie goalies in the NHL with no minimum. Anyone else? Well, if they didn't have 50, I would doubt that they're going to be pushing for the Calder, but just out of curiosity. Anyone else even close? No. Chip Chura, this guy in Philadelphia. Hornqvist can call himself the best rookie goalie of 2028-29. So quite a season of stats right there. We can probably say that we have the Hart, Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, Norris, maybe even the Calder all locked up for the hardware. Looking at expiring deals after this season, just out of curiosity, a guy like Bushnevich still wants like 12 million. We only have 17.6 to play with. So if Drouin walks and we just have Bushnevich, Glass, and Hornqvist to really have our big priorities, Glass would take 5 into the 4s even. I think he would take after a bit of a down year, so that's something that we could benefit from. Drouin, even if it's 8 million, I don't think he can come back next season. And for goaltending, Hornqvist, who's now at an 83, he wants 7 million for 2 years. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, 8 years by 14. I don't know what we're going to do for Hornqvist. It might have to be the approach where we just take goalies on ELCs, and then when their RFA expiry status is no more and they become UFA expiry status, we have to let them go and get the next prospect in. It's unfortunate, but we'll do what we can. Money's tight, and goaltending doesn't really... You don't really get your bang for your buck in your goaltending, unfortunately. So, after those 82 games, we have the President's Trophy as well to add to our hardware, and we want to see who will we be facing in round number 1. Bushnevich is fully healed. Yes, very good. We'll get him in the lineup for game 1. And then the 2029 postseason, coming off of a Western Conference final loss and a Stanley Cup championship the year before, we will be facing the, drumroll, Chicago Blackhawks, who went 41, 37, and 4 on the year. Let's quickly just check out their lineup. I don't believe we've played the Hawks yet in the postseason in this franchise mode. Maybe, but I don't think so. First line, franchise mode and channel legend. Certified Bellow to the nth degree. Eli Tolvanen. He's an 89 overall. Is he... What kind of season did he have here with the Blackhawks? 77 points, 38 goals. Yeah, good stuff for Eli Tolvanen as an 89. Centered by Frank Nazar and Mark Stone at the age of 36 on that right wing. Radish, Dvorsky, and Roslovic on that second line. Solid top 6. Benoit Olivier Giroux, former Shark, Philip Kurashev, and Jordan Greenway on the third line. Reichel, Chimera, Leonard on the fourth. Defense, they have Marcus Pettersson and Kevin Korchinski. Kreutzer and Riesen, Sasha Riesen, 39th overall pick in 2024. He's up to an 85. That's a great pick for them. And then Travis Dermott with Connor Zary. All right, interesting. As a centerman, he's playing third pair defense. Connor Zary. Odd. Do they have a... yeah, okay. Seth Jones is injured. That's why. 84 overall. And between the pipes, they have Jussi Saros at an 89, backed up by Alex Nedeljkovic. All right, also scratched Dickinson and Joey Winquist. Checking out the injury report, he's out until Seth Jones out till April 24th at the, well, returning fully healed. So at the earliest playable injury, you would think he's back for, what day is game 1? 17th. You would think he's probably back for game 3, but we should have the first couple games against Connor Zary on that third defensive pair, no Seth Jones. So we got to take advantage of that. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you off there. What a season here in San Jose. 3 consecutive President's Trophies, a lot of hardware, great offensive seasons, some solid numbers out here. What are your suggestions, if any, headed into the 2029 year number 7 postseason? In what will likely be our final run with Jonathan Drouin and maybe even Hurdle at this level. You would think Hurdle's a part of the team next season, maybe not at this level though, as I mentioned, but Drouin, I would think that he would be gone altogether next year. Any suggestions, if any, with this lineup? Are your 2 starting goaltenders still Hornqvist and Lindberg? Special teams seem to be clicking, everything seems to be going well, so I don't think there would be any changes. I would maybe just, do we keep Ranta in the top 6? We did that just to get his 30th goal, didn't come, but do we go back to Eklund on the second line, which does give it a +5? I would think so, but always happy to listen to the assistant general managers. You can leave a comment down here on YouTube or over on the Discord server with any and all of your thoughts on this episode. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. It was a huge push to the President's Trophy. Leave the boys a like here in San Jose. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to do so you'll be made aware of all of our uploads for franchise mode, career simulations, real life hockey analysis and breakdowns, and much, much more. So if you enjoy this, I'm sure you enjoy much else that goes on the channel. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing you again in the next one as we look to go on another deep postseason run, which have become pretty common here in San Jose, and we want to keep it that way, as well as looking for our second Stanley Cup in 3 years.